Hello, my friends, and welcome to Sound Off with System One. I'm your host, Karen Callahan, and I am thrilled to be here with you today as we discuss a very timely topic, tips for finding a job after graduation. As always, before we get into introductions, a few brief words from our sponsor. System One is a leading provider of outsourced services and workforce solutions to critical infrastructure, technology, life sciences, and government sectors, putting more than 650 employees and 9,000 contractors and consultants to work in the US, Canada, and the United Kingdom daily. Please, while you are joining the broadcast, drop us a note in the comments section. Let us know where you're joining us from and what industry you are in. We have Rich Weed and Ali Moen moderating the comments and dropping everyone's information in there as well. So please feel free to connect with all of us. Remember, this is an interactive broadcast. So if you have any questions for the panel, drop those in the comment section as well. So without further ado, let's get right to the introduction because our esteemed panelists, they have some hot jobs for you. So Matt, we will start with you.
Thanks, Karen. Glad to be here. Coming from Tampa, Florida. Been with System One for 4 years, 15 years in the industry. Sorry about the voice, but got a new great opportunity. Fortune 500 company here based in Tampa to Senior Director of IT Global Technology Services. It is an instrumental leadership role. They're going to oversee this candidate would oversee over 50 direct reports, have reports in 3 different countries, looking for 10 plus years of leadership experience. IT experience would mirror that amount of experience, 10 years plus. And really the key would be ERP integrations on a global scale. So this is all part of their global digital acceleration project. It's a full-time role. It can be remote as well. So ideally looking for candidates on the Eastern time zone, but we'll consider candidates in any time zone. And they have to be willing to travel international. So this is a great opportunity for a leader that's looking for that next step in their career to make it here. And we've got active interview times next week. So look forward to talking and seeing candidates as soon as possible.
That sounds like an excellent job opportunity, Matt. International travel sounds exciting.
Absolutely.
So Matt's hot job is being dropped in the comments section, and the job ID can be found down below. And if you scan this QR code right now, you can go to jobs.system1.com, put in that job ID, and find Matt's job, connect with him as well. Jana, it's up to you. Let us give us a quick introduction of yourself and the hot job that you have available.
Hi, so I'm located in the Tampa office on the IT recruiting team. My hot new job is the Unifier developer. It's for a large engineering and construction consulting firm. They're looking for somebody that has experience developing the Oracle Primavera Unifier application, looking for somebody that has worked with business requirements, business processes, and this is a remote role that will work East Coast hours as well, and it is a contract that will go through the end of the year.
Excellent.
So me, if you have that experience.
Excellent. So again, Jana's hot job can be found below in the comments, and you can always connect with her to find out more about her position and other positions she has available. And Afia, we are on to you.
Good afternoon. I've been with ALTA IT for about a year now. I handle a lot of the non-technical roles. However, I do come across some of the technical ones. Currently, my hot job that I have is a project manager. This one is non-technical. It is remote. It's contract to hire. You will, however, work with the technical team. So it's a good way to get your feet wet if you're trying to go on the tech side of project management. But just to mention a job that I had last week for entry-level graduates or people that are graduating this week, one of my candidates that I actually submitted, she's graduating on May 26th for an entry-level analyst. So she already has a submittal in with one of my clients, and so there's a lot of opportunities when it comes to entry-level positions with System One and ALTA IT as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Afia, for representing ALTA IT, one of our tech subsidiary. And yes, if you want to connect with Afia, her contact information is being dropped and job ID is below. All right, Kevin, on to you.
Thanks, Karen. Good afternoon, everyone. Kevin Bueller. I'm actually out of Kansas City, and my hot job is an IT support analyst position for a client that I've been calling on for several years now. I've placed several people there. This is a contract to hire. You'd be on contract for 6 months, and they would convert you to full time. They're basically looking for somebody with 1 to 2 years of desktop support experience or help desk or a combination of both. If you have an A+ certification, that would help you out quite a bit as well too. Like I said, this is in Kansas City, and this is on site. You'd be on site 5 days a week, and then 8 to 5 and 40 hours a week. Again, this is IT support analyst position, contract to hire.
Excellent. Thank you, Kevin. Well, we have a wide range of job opportunities available, and this is only the salad, folks. People gave you their hot jobs, but they have many more. So please do not forget to connect with them and visit jobs.system1.com for further information on these entry level, on non-entry level and entry level positions on jobs.system1.com. So everyone, back to the topic. It is May, and that means graduation season. So we have gathered a group of experts here to shed light on the topic, and together we will explore strategies, insights, and other practical advice to empower graduates in their job search journey, or in your job search journey. Again, I encourage our viewers to actively participate by submitting questions and comments in our comment section throughout the discussion. So together, let's uncover the secrets to successful job hunting after graduation. We're diving into our discussion. Matt, we'll start with you. What are some of the most important strategies for job hunting after graduation?
Couple things. I know I've been working with graduates over the last couple of weeks here in the Tampa Bay area, a couple of schools. One, to really work on their resume and the look of their resume. Things are important, things to emphasize based on their degree and pursuits and interests that they have. Also doing interview prep and mock interviews with them to help them be better prepared when they get into a tense or a situation that is definitely uncomfortable when you're interviewing for a job. And then also showing how important their digital footprint is, their LinkedIn profiles, but also something that a lot of folks I don't think about is, I know when we're hiring, we go right to the social media. What does that page look like, their profile? So also making sure the social media platforms are appropriate and definitely still look professional to a potential job or a potential employer that would be looking there. So those are really the main things that I've been focusing on with the graduates so far this spring.
I also think that you can start by understanding your skills and strengths and your interests and reflecting on the internships, projects, extracurricular activities that you have done and doing some research on companies and industries that might interest you. Like Matt said, your social media is a big thing. So I think building an online presence, especially on LinkedIn, will help you out a lot.
I would have to say, honestly, just understanding the job, doing some research on the title, but also the skills needed, because a lot of times your internships can actually help you get a position that you may have never heard of. So it's really just seeing what skills you have and what skills you would need, and I would honestly say start looking from junior year. I know a lot of people say graduates, but junior year is the main year to start building that up. So that way when you're out, but a good way to really know what jobs are out there is check out ALTA IT, check out System One, because we have so many jobs, titles that you may have never heard of, but it gives you a good idea of like what you need to look into, especially. And I wouldn't focus too heavily on the major either, because you can go so many different routes. I think a lot of people are just stuck on a certain major, and you're not stuck to that title or degree.
This subject kind of hits home with me. I actually have a son that's graduating from college this year, and so he's in the process of looking for a position. But what I've told him, and I've told some of his buddies as well too, is to network with everybody you know, especially if you're in a fraternity or sorority. Network with them. If you're in any type of social clubs or athletic teams at college, network with them. Maybe you've had some people, those clubs recently graduated. Get to know them, see where they're at, see if they can help you get a foot in the door. Build those relationships and network with every one of those possibilities. I know that's how I got into the profession I'm in. It was a fellow fraternity member of mine asked me to join, and 25 years later, I'm still doing the same thing. So network with those friends. You never know what could happen.
And Karen, one more thing I think I didn't mention, I have it starred on my notes though, is alumni associations. Get a hold of those alumni. They have student centers typically on every campus, career centers, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't been in college in 27 years, but I think they still have them. And then also LinkedIn. I know here in Tampa, there's the Gators, the Gator Club from UF, the Florida State, USF, UCF, all have functions weekly here in the Tampa area for new graduates, where they almost take pride in helping those alumni of the same school get jobs. So I would definitely reach out to those on LinkedIn or even on social media as well, other than LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. They all have presences there as well.
Well, we have our first viewer question, as we see below. Our viewer is in Italy. She graduated 2 months ago, or he graduated, but could only land 3 interviews. Are they doing something wrong? Does anybody want to tackle that one?
I can jump.
Oh,
Go.
sorry, you can go.
Yeah, I'll go. No, I don't think you're doing anything wrong at all. 3 interviews, that's pretty good in 2 months. I would continue what you're doing. There are some people that it might take 6 months to get a first interview, but doing 3 interviews in 2 months, I don't think that's an issue at all. You might want to broaden your horizon, expand to other companies, look into other markets, look into other industries. I got into an industry that I had no experience in, like I said, a long time ago, and I'm still in it now. So be flexible with what you're looking at.
Excellent. 3 interviews. That's good. That's actually a good job. Okay. So my next question is, what are some of the key skills and attributes that employers that you feel employers look for in recent graduates?
You want me to lead off? Okay, I can do that.
I'm sorry, Matt, you can lead off.
Okay. Specific to, I had my notes just went on sleep. So key skills and attributes, I would say, especially Kevin mentioned on it, if you're in a sorority or fraternity, if you held an office in those fraternities or sororities, vice president, secretary, treasurer, et cetera, right? You've dealt with people, definitely had to problem solve. You've definitely had to have hard conversations. You've had to handle budgets, timelines, schedules, et cetera. If you're on an athletic team, if you were a captain, or even a band or any extracurricular activity, if you were in a leadership role, you need to emphasize that. Clients or companies are looking for that type of skill all the time, and that's hard to teach. Most of those things just happen naturally. So I would say those would be the key attributes. Any sort of community service, any sort of just being involved, giving your time. Internships, I would say, all would play a major role in landing jobs.
We have our next viewer question. Can you bring that up again? Thank you. So our next viewer has been mainly using LinkedIn and Indeed and been applying for about months. So they've gotten their resume looked over twice by 2 services, but not any luck. Any advice?
I think so. Yes. Isam, is that who it is?
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about this in our on our meeting before going live. It's get attached to 2 or 3 recruiters that are going to be working on your behalf. I think even to the other question about Mohammed, about interviews. If you have a recruiter working on your behalf, that will be so much more effective than just submitting applications online. Unfortunately, that is a very frustrating process. The good news is with System 1 and ALTA and recruiting companies in general is we're going directly to those that are hiring, the managers, the directors, the CEOs, the CEIOs. So that can also expedite that whole process. And I think Kevin mentioned it earlier again, but referrals, you are 50 times more likely to get a job through a referral. That is a fact. And I got my job here through a referral. I think Jana got hers through a referral, right? The places we're at right now are because of that. So I would leverage referrals as much as possible. Hope that helped.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to jump on to my next question. And you've kind of touched on it just now, Matt, which is networking. So how important is networking in finding a job after graduation? And what are effective ways that students and recent graduates can build their networks and make valuable connections?
I do think that networking is very important to finding a job after graduation. In some effective ways is to build your network through your friends, your family, and even past professors that you've had in school. Another thing, like I touched on before, is the online presence with LinkedIn. Connect with recruiters on there, especially with System 1 and ALTA IT services, or people that work for companies or industries that you would like to get into. Connect with them and start a conversation there.
To piggyback off what John was saying, LinkedIn is a very powerful tool. It helps our industry out. It helps all kinds of industry out for networking and finding positions. So utilize your LinkedIn. Make sure it has everything on there. It's professionally done, and everything's updated on there. As well as piggyback, use your professors. They're very well connected out in the industry, especially if there's a particular field, if it's an engineering professor or if it's an IT professor or it's an accounting professor. They're very well connected to the businesses out there and the managers and the companies within the industry. And network with them. They can help you out and point you in the right direction and get you connected with the hiring managers or someone within HR. And also use a recruiter, like Matt was saying earlier. Use ALTA, use System 1, build a relationship with the recruiter, and they can help you out. They get your foot in the door almost easier than a full-time HR person. So utilize the recruiting industry.
Excellent. Good advice. So my next question to y'all is, what role do internships, volunteer work, and other extracurricular activities play in the job search process? I know a few of you have touched upon that briefly, so if we can expand on that.
So something that I like to say, which sounds very cliche, is confidence. I've noticed a lot of people don't have confidence, and like a good tip that I like to give to all of my interviewers, don't think of it as an interview. Think of it as your own business when you're going out selling your product. So it's just like an interview, like you're selling your services to them. Like, hey, do you have you can do Python really well, so you're selling your services. But if you think of it as an interview, you're most likely going to get nervous. And I've seen that a lot with a lot of people. Like, I'll have a candidate speak to me completely fine, but then like during the interview, they just completely blow it. So confidence is something that I would say. And another thing is, a lot of times people get disheartened, like, oh, I haven't gotten an interview yet. I've applied to so many jobs. But connecting with the recruiter and asking their advice, because a lot of times when we start working with a client for a while, we can give you the ins and outs. Like, hey, this is exactly what they're looking for. Please add that on your resume. Because I've seen a lot of mistakes where people literally have 3 bullet points for their experience, and then their summary may have like a few key points, but you're not going to get a contact because you're missing out a lot of good experience that you have on there. Whether it's with a specific software or a specific skill set that's more valuable in today's market. So that is some of like the stuff that I'm seeing a lot, especially with graduates, that I think would be very helpful to land a job.
That's excellent advice. We do have someone asking about internships. So internships and volunteer work are very valuable. What if you don't have any internship experience? I'm thinking we focus on volunteer work, yes, focus on extracurricular activities. Matt, you were talking about, sororities and fraternities. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I think if you haven't had internships, I would look for, at least for me, I'm in IT and technical. So there are IT boot camps. There are, like dev days or dev competitions, anywhere you can get around the technology where you're going to meet people in the IT industry, at least for me specifically, that is going to add value if you haven't had a chance to do an internship. I would probably look more to the career services on your university or at your university. They would be able to, they have a list of people looking for internship. They literally give that to the client, to the college. So Florida Southern, when I was there, it's where I went to school. It's in Lakeland, Florida. I think they had 72 internship, opportunities. Now they might not be exactly, I forget who asked that question. Like his name's already scrolled down. There's so many questions. But it might not be exactly in the field that you're studying, but a vast majority of people are working in the field, not in their specific major. So maybe that might get your foot in the door of a company, and then you could work your way in over time to the role that you really want. So hope that helps.
We do have a question down below. If we have any advice for recent graduates actively working toward their CAPM, looking for entry-level positions at System 1.
I would advise, so I've had like people in that similar position, and project coordinator roles are the best way to get in. A lot of my candidates that were in that similar situation, they had a lot of project coordinator roles before they got into a project management role. So you would have to start from that level. And it doesn't have to be that exact title, because there's similar stuff that will count in place for like a project coordinator. But I wouldn't just reach for project management right off the bat, because building up that experience would be a lot more helpful than trying to get an entry-level project management role. That's the best advice I honestly would give from personal experience and from my client.
Excellent. Thank you.
To piggyback off of what she was saying, it was project coordinator is a great opportunity. Also, you might want to look at the business analyst route. Usually that leads into a project manager or a scrum master or something like that eventually. So look into business analyst positions, and those will kind of lead into the PMO, the project manager office, and those will turn into more opportunities. But you're doing the right thing, getting your CAPM and going down that road. There's going to be some great opportunity for you in the next 5 to 10 years. Unbelievable opportunity.
Excellent. Just a programming note, we are getting a lot of questions. So we promise if we're not answering your questions here on the live broadcast, recruiters and members of our team will be answering your questions individually after the broadcast. So we apologize if we're not getting to you, but these are great questions, great show, and a hot topic. So we're going to end it on one last question, which anybody can pipe into. What advice do you have for those who may be struggling to find a job that matches their skills and interests?
That's a great. Hey, I mean, that's a great question. I think that only comes with job and opportunities. If you really don't know, even if it says a project title, I think Afia said that before, was the title might be different than the actual job. I think you need to dig deeper into that requirement or that opportunity, and potentially, especially for young graduates, if that were 21, 22 years old, take the next 3 to 5 years to really figure out what you want. It might be 2 or 3 jobs, and that's okay. If you spend I know for us, red flags or anything less than 6 to 9 months. But if you're there for a year and then you change a job and you get a progressionary role for another year, employers are actually going to look at that as a bonus and as a plus, not as a red flag. So don't look at that job you get now thinking you're going to be there in 10 to 15 years. You might, but most are not.
And if you're struggling to find a job, call System 1. This is what we do.
Right.
We do it for entry level. We do it for mid level. We do it for senior level. We do it for executives. This is what we do every single day. We have our foot in the door in several large, medium-sized, and small-sized clients nationally. We're a national company, coast to coast. We can help you out. Maybe your resume is a little off here and there. We can help you out and make it a little better. Maybe your interview skills are a little off. We can coach you on that, those type of stuff. So utilize System 1 or utilize your recruiter. Maybe you know a recruiter from the school you went to, and they're in the industry, and you have a connection there because you went to the same school. Utilize them. They will help you out, I promise.
Excellent final words. Thank you so much. All right. Well, this was a very fun panel. I love it. But that, my friends, actually wraps up today's broadcast. So thank you for joining us this week. One programming note. 2 graduates. Look at our career portal for those entry-level jobs. They're there. In the meantime, as a reminder, I wanted to let everybody who's watching know that we have a contest going on. And it's running now through July 31st. We're giving away a Yeti Tundra Hard Cooler. And to be entered, all you need to do is click the follow button here on our LinkedIn company page. All you need to do. So if you're not already following us, click the follow button. You are entered to receive for the chance at winning this Yeti Tundra. And who doesn't love that, right? It's a cool prize. So follow us. And also, all of our episodes of Sound Off with System 1 can be found on our YouTube channel, along with videos that contain expert career and job search tips, hiring manager best practices, leadership insights, and more. So follow us. As always, visit us here at Sound Off with System 1 every Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern on LinkedIn and YouTube. See you next week.